What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you how to use signals in Python. As everything in Python, signals are very simple because if you compare them to C, in C they are very complex, but here they are very simple. So let's start. First of all, what is a signal? A signal is like an interruption to a process. Let's say that you are executing a program and something happens in the operating system. And it's something that makes that your process must be shut down. So what the operating system does is sending a signal to the process and saying, hey, you have to shut down. And that signal can be, for example, seek kill. So once you send that signal to the process is going to be interrupted. And for example, if it's doing something, it will stop doing that and it will do whatever is in the handler of that signal. What is a handler of a signal? That is very simple. So for example, in the seek kill, whenever a process receives a seek kill, the handler, the function that is executed, says that you that you just, for example, have to shut down the process. And that's it. You are going to see that better here now. So another thing I want to tell you is that in order to understand better the signals in Python, you can use the documentation in this link. Also, by the way, this is in my GitHub, so if you want, you can go there and check it. So for example, if you come here to GitHub and you come to my trading bot repository, here in tutorials, you go to Python, and there in signals you have this code. So here in this page you have all the information about signals, all the signals, etc. But let's start with signals in Python. First of all, we need to know all the signals, and for that, if you are in Linux, you can use the terminal and put here kill -l. Here you have a list with all the signals. The most important, the most used ones, sigint, sigkill, sigterm, etc. And for example, there are two signals which they are there because you can modify them, which are SIGUSER1 and SIGUSER2. These two signals don't do anything, but you can modify them so in your program it does something. So once you've done that, you have to know also that the signal SIGKILL cannot be set, like cannot be changed. It cannot be done anything, because imagine that if you modify the SIGKILL and the process, the operating system needs to kill the process, it wouldn't be able because you modified that. So SIGKILL cannot be modified or done anything. And by the way, that is here set. So for example, let me look, for example, here, it cannot be copied, blocked, or ignored. So that's good to know. So how do we do this in Python? First of all, you have to create a function in which you are going to do whatever you want to do when you receive a signal. So this is called usually a handler. So for example, let's say that when we receive the signal sigint, what we want to do is to execute this. We want to print the signal number and then we want to print the frame, this frame that you receive. But also we want to print this. Instead of closing myself, I will continue executing. Why did I put this? Because when you when you press Ctrl C, you send the signal sigint, which says to the process, okay, shut down. And we are not going to shut down, we are going to do this. So also the other thing that you need to do is to set, to link the handler to the process. So for example, now you have to import the signal library and say, okay, signal, we want to set this signal. So whenever you receive sigint, I want you to do this, which is the name of the function. So you put here the name of the function and here the signal, and you will have whatever you want to do with the signal. So the program is very simple because this is an infinite loop that is not going to stop. So the only way to stop this is with a signal. So let's execute this. And first of all, let's put this in this way. So we have two terminals. Let me move this a little bit here. So if we execute the file handler, you're going to see that now we are in an infinite loop and this is not going to stop. Now what we can do is to call the ps-aux so we can see which process is the one executed by the program. So we see that the 12,059 is the process that is executing that Python program. So for example, if we come to this terminal and we press Ctrl C, which is the SIGINT signal, you see that we are printing signal number 2, frame, well, the frame, and instead of closing myself, I will continue executing. And if we do that again, boom. You can see here that I pressed Ctrl C, but what we can do is to ask for the list of signals, and for example, we know that the signal 2 is the signal SIGINT. So what we can do is to put this and send that to the process which was the 12,059. So you see that now I didn't press Ctrl C, but since I sent the signal manually, you can see that yeah, we received that signal and we are doing this again. So how do I stop this process? Well, the signal 9 is the SIG kill, and as we saw before, this signal cannot be changed, cocked, or whatever. So what we can do is execute this again, and that's it. We kill the process. So as you can see, signals are very simple in Python. So the only thing that you need is a function to set the handler. Then you have to know which signal do you want to cock, to modify, etc. And you just have to use this function. So with few lines of code, you can do this. So it is very simple. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.
Ay.